Krome Studios Melbourne, originally Beam Software, was a video game development studio founded in 1978 and based in Melbourne, Australia. The studio operated independently from 1988 until 2000, when it was acquired by Infogrames, who changed the name to Melbourne House. In 2006 the studio was sold to Krome Studios. The name Beam was a contraction of the initials of the founders, Alfred Milgram and Naomi Bassen. History. Home computer era. In the early years, two of Beam's programs were milestones in their respective genre. The Hobbit, a 1982 text adventure by Philip Mitchell and Veronica Megler, sold more than 1 million copies. It employed an advanced parser by Stuart Ritchie and had real-time elements. Even if the player didn't enter commands, the story would move on. In 1985, Greg Barnett's two-player martial arts game The Way of the Exploding Fist helped define the genre of one-on-one fighting games on the home computer. The game won Best Overall Game at the Golden Joystick Awards, with the company also picking up Best Software House. In 1988, Beam's publisher, parent company Melbourne House, was sold to Mastertronic for £850,000. Subsequently, games were released through varying publishers. The 1988 fighting games Samurai Warrior and Fist Plus, the third installment in the Exploding Fist series, were published through Telecomsoft's Firebird label. 1988 also saw the release of Space Shoot 'em Up Bedlam, published by Go, one of U.S. Gold's labels, and The Muncher, published by Gremlin Graphics. Shift to consoles and PCs. In 1987, Nintendo granted a developer's license for the NES, and Beam developed games on that platform for US and Japanese publishers. Targeted at an Australian audience, releases such as Aussie Rules Footy and International Cricket for the NES proved successful. In 1991 they released the original title Nightshade, a dark superhero comedy game. The game was meant to be the first part in a series, but no sequels were ever made. However, it served as the basis for Shadowrun. In 1993 they released Shadowrun, with an innovative dialogue system using the acquisition of keywords which could be used in subsequent conversations to initiate new branches in the dialogue tree. In the mid to late 90s, Melbourne House found further success with PC titles Crush Kill, N, Destroy, and the sequels KKND Extreme and KKND 2. Crossfire. Unfortunately, they released KKND 2 in South Korea well before they released it in the American and European markets. Unpirated versions of the game were available on the internet before it was available in stores in the US. They were the developers of the 32-bit versions of North by Northwest, The Return of the Lost Vikings for the Sega Saturn, PlayStation and PC in 1996. They also helped produce SNES games such as WCW Super Bowl Wrestling, Super Smash TV, and an updated version of international cricket titled Super International Cricket. They ported the Sega Saturn game Bug to Windows 3.x in August 1996. 1998 saw a return to RPGs with Alien Earth, again with the dialogue tree format. Also in 1998, the studio developed racing games Death Cars and GP500. In 1999, Beam Software was acquired by Infogrames and renamed to Infogrames Melbourne House. 2000s they continued to cement a reputation as a racing game developer with Test Drive, Le Mans and Looney Tunes Space Race, followed by the technically impressive Grand Prix Challenge, before a disastrous venture into third-person shooters with Men in Black 2. Alien Escape. In 2004 the studio released Transformers for the PlayStation 2 games console based on the then-current Transformers Armada franchise by Hasbro. The game reached the top of the UK PlayStation 2 games charts, making it Melbourne House's most successful recent title. The studio then completed work on PlayStation 2 and PlayStation Portable ports of Eden's next-generation Xbox 360 title Test Drive Unlimited. In December 2005, Atari decided to shift away from internal development, seeking to sell its studios, including Melbourne House. In November 2006, Krome Studios announced that it had acquired Melbourne House from Atari and that the studio would be renamed the Krome Studios Melbourne. Other games: 1998, NBA Action, 98, 1997, Caesar's Palace, 1996, 5-in-1 Fun Pack, Wildcats, 1995, True Lies, The Dame Was Loaded, 1994, WCW, The Main Event, Super Smash TV, Solitaire Fun Pack, Cricket, 97 Ashes Edition, Radical Rex, 1993, We're Back BC, Agrosaur, The Simpsons, Itchy and Scratchy in Miniature Golf Madness, Blades of Vengeance, NFL Quarterback Club, Radical Rex, Super High Impact, 1992, T2, The Arcade Game, NBA All-Star Challenge 2, Tom and Jerry, Super Smash TV, George Foreman's KO, Boxing, 1991, Hunt for Red October, Smash TV, Family Feud, RR, Tolkien's Riders of Rohan, 1990, Back to the Future Parts 2 and 3, Dash Galaxy in the Alien Asylum, Boulder Dash, NBA All-Star Challenge, The Punisher, 1989, Back to the Future, 1988 Samurai Warrior, The Battles of Usagi Yojimbo,